It's Saturday, and after yesterday's Realistic 2000, we'll move from something from 1982 to something a bit newer. The Danita 3000 UK, not to be confused with the Danita 3000 Multi, which by its sheer name is obviously the multi version, whereas this is for PR27 97 use. So presumably, I would guess this is going to be somewhere round about 1999. Mark has already labelled it and says it doesn't work. So we'll see what... in fact, I think it was one of Mark's relatives who passed it on to me. Probably because it didn't work. Yeah, we'll worry about unsticking those in a bit. So we don't know what doesn't work about it. But it does come with the factory mic, which is an up, down and lock mic. So it's useful to have the original mic. Now when we tested the Danita 3000 Multi, I found it worked fine. But some people seem to think these don't. So we'll see. Perhaps that can be rectified with a bit of a service. Perhaps it can't. Oh, it's got screws in the back. It's one of those. Made in Thailand. Now, seeing as Maxon were making things in Thailand, it just makes me wonder, but I might be totally barking up the wrong tree. 0099's its serial number. Oh, how are we going to get these off? That's one off. Now, do we have to unsolder the speaker? And the answer is yes, we do. So we have a very wax-filled VCO department there. I'll change glass. We may even find a real date instead of one of my guesstimated dates. I think I got this about 2014. So if it is round about 99 2000, it would have been, well, that feels dry, John. It would have been probably 12 or 14 years old when I acquired it. So, because it hasn't been used since then. This looks like glue that's gone horrible, but am I sure? Yeah, it is. It's glue. It's not that they've all corroded. It's also come with its power lead, which is nice. Oh, plenty of screening there. Serviceman's nightmare, but plenty of screening. The processor's Sanyo LC72322N. So all this is flow soldered apart from these hand soldered audio IC and is that a regulator IC? Transmitter one at the back. SC 1969 Mitsubishi. Can't see what the driver is, and it's all under there anyway. We have another VLSI chip under there, which is going to be the receiver. The complete FMI IF subsystem in a chip. And then we have crystal filter there and ceramic filter with the 455 there. So, what else have we got? A Kia 324, so that's Kia's variant of the LM324. And we've got our reference crystal there for the synthesizer, and so we've got a reference trimmer, which is nice. So looking at this very quickly, we're going to have the transmit line just there, and I'm expecting the receive line to be here, and chances are that's going to be the detector. That's a modulation transformer, but this radio doesn't do AM. So that's interesting, isn't it? It's going to be a hidden feature within it somewhere. Right. So we'll get some power onto it. It's powered up. I didn't realise it was on. So we'll connect that to the test set. And we'll connect that to our extension speaker. And something's bouncing the power. We've got an S meter socket as well for those people who like external S meters. So we need this to be in UK. EU, UK. I wonder what happens if we start pressing buttons when you switch it on. Nothing. So we've got emergency dual watch, scan, and our EU or UK button. I can't see it's got auto squelch or preset squelch. Right, something is loose, and it's quite possibly going to be here. See if we've tightened that up enough. And of course, now the power's been off, it boots up on 9. What's happening here? It's doing every other channel. Is it the fuse holder that's dirty? Oh dear, oh dear. We're going to have one of these nightmare sets. It wants to turn on and off all the time. So we'll get the fiberglass brush on that. Right, we'll see whether it behaves now. It's possible there's something dirty in there. And we'll worry about that in a moment. So we'll go into picture-in-picture and we'll just look at what we're doing on transmit. Now, being PR27 97 set, it doesn't have low power that we'd have on UK, so we only have the high power setting. So I'm going to put it in the 3 watt range, so we should have 3 full scale deflection if we've got 3 watts, and we haven't. It didn't go much further, so chances are if I put it on the next scale up, yeah, it's just about 3.0 something. Now I haven't got the foggiest idea what does what, and this is where we're going to have some play time. On the other hand, I will go and see whether I've got any information, so we'll pause the video. Well, I've come up with some success. I did look in 2014 when I was given this set by Mark, and there was nothing really about it, but now there is. And I was able to download quite a lot from the manufacturer's website, as in Danita's website, because they do have support for in the way of instruction books and that, and circuits for older models. So we've got the instruction book in various languages, which I hope includes English. It does, second one along. And then, because I printed this off because we've got the specification. We've got a bit of a circuit diagram where it's pretty light. But on the circuit diagram page, we've got the layout for the Danita 3000, because it does vary from the UK. Sorry, the UK version does differ from the multi quite considerably. And we've got a circuit diagram, if I get it the right way up. So I've had a look at that, magnifying it on its PDF file, and I've managed to come up with some adjustments which we'll be able to make. And if I could find my marker pens, I'd mark that, but can I find the marker pens? No, so I've ordered some more. Right. So we'll get on to it. So the first thing is we've got lower transmit power than what we would expect. So it's about 3.05 of a watt, watts, and we'd like it a bit nearer 4. So make sure we're still on picture in picture. We are. So the transmit lineup is 301, 302, 303, 301, 302, 303. See, I've gone from my position where I'm sat, I didn't see that behind there. And there's a possibility that we've got a variable resistor 203. So I think we'll fiddle with 203 first. So I'll just find that. 203. 105. 101. It does have a real power meter in this. There we are. But I'd have thought that was going to be modulation for AM. The AM it doesn't have, but it does. Did you get that? Let's see what happens. Yeah, that's power. We can vary it from 1.5 watts to about 3.1. We'll just run through this because we're not tuning it up as an 80 channel set, even though it's an 80 channel set. I'm tuning it up for UK channels as priority because we don't use CPT round here. Then it's my set, so we tune it on channel 1 of UK or channel 40 of CPT if we were going to use it on 80 channels. But we might get that extra 100 yards range doing it just for this band. I don't think anything else. I don't think anything looks like it's been fiddled with. I'm not sure I like the angle of that. So it does about 3.5 watts. I'll just make sure we're not on full power. 203. There's a point at which it makes no difference, and that's the point where we want to be. It's like driving your car up a hill. There's a point at which you could put the accelerator right down to the floor and it would make no difference if the engine was straining that. But I'm talking about manual cars here. Somebody with an automatic car will say, yeah, it'll change gear. Well, I'm talking about if you've got a manual gear anyway. I'll go away. So, we've done that. We may as well set the power meter, and the power meter is RV105. So RV105 is bound to be somewhere near the transmitter, and it's the one there, which is that one. So we'll tilt the radio up. Now we know it's doing 3.5 watts. There we go, we can set that, but we will always set it to 4. That is psychological. And of course, if you put this on a non-selective power meter, what I say is 3.5 watts on here might be 5.5 watts on a non-selective meter. So don't take, when I say it's 3.5 watts on here, it means it's 3.5 watts on 2779125, whereas on a wideband meter, especially those Ditagi ones, my 3.5 watts is probably about 12 of theirs. Ooh, isn't it powerful, this set? No. Right, so that's done that. Let's look at deviation. That's preset 501, according to my information. I'd expect it somewhere around here. It is, it's there. There we are. So we'll get the little oscillator out. We'll set the test set into FM deviation. Oh, that is so quiet. Wallow. It's 0.9 kilohertz. No wonder people say these are rubbish. So we'll set that to 2. And then we'll just do the whistle test. See if we're somewhere near. Wallow. I can't whistle. I'm well over the top there. We'll have to go back on that. So we'll set that to 1.5. Wallow. That's absolutely spot on. So we're at 2.2 with an absolute maximum of 2.5, which is the never exceed. So that's deviation sorted. So we'll look at this on the spectrum analyzer because we can. So whilst that's just booting up, I will just check the frequency. So we'll go on to camera what's it. There we go. So we're looking for 2779125, 2779111. Now they always drop with age, so we'll just pop that back up with the red trimmer just here. Is that on camera? It is. And this time I'm turning the preset and we look like we're going in the right direction. No, we're not. We're going the wrong way. How it was well within specification. You know, it really didn't matter. I'm just being spot on here, which is a bit OCD-ish, but there we are. Right, so now we'll press auto on the spectrum analyzer. We'll see whether it picks it up from the loose coupling. And we'll just flick over to the appropriate camera. I think it's that one. There we go. Right, so let's see what we've had. No, that's picking up some I think I was picking up a cell phone transmitter, which is more than they normally get. That's picked up 900 and something megs. So we'll put in 20. We'll do it manually. 27.79125. Especially if I press frequency first. Okay, so there we go on the spectrum analyzer. And now I'm going to put 54 megs in, or 55, we'll put 55 in, and look at the second harmonic. Frequency, 55 megs. We'll see whether we can find any. Yeah, we've got a spurious emission there. And it is minus 94 dBm. Well, it needs to be better than 70, minus 70 something, so that is absolutely fine. I'm being very fussy there. There's nothing wrong there. Okay. Actually, while I'm looking at that, we'll just see whether the angle of that coil makes any difference. No, it doesn't. Because that's the only thing I could see that was bashed in this radio. Because I don't think it's been got at. Okay, well, we'll look at the receive. And first of all, we better dial in 27.79125 into the signal generator. Turn the spectrum analyzer off. So that's showing the receive frequency. And now we'll go to the oscilloscope and we'll put the signal generator on S9, 100 microvolts in the UK for a CB, and we'll just select the camera on the oscilloscope, which I think is that one. Yeah. Whichever volume is, there we go. So as ever, I'm looking for maximum decoded audio. It's the biggest amplitude on there, and according to my notes, L105 is the detector. Now I felt it was that one. That's L1. I'm right, it is. So let's just check that's maximum. Not quite, so there's a little improvement there. Okay, so now we'll go on to the SINAD meter. So we'll turn the signal generator down. Wow, it's a bit different from the Unidem based realistic I was doing yesterday. That's 0.3 of a microvolt, doing about 15 dB at 0.3. Right, here we go. I need to turn the squelch down. So we'll turn that down to about 4 there. We'll just go through the receive. So I want to get these in the right order. I've got 101, 102, 103, 104. So 101, 102, 103, 104. Simple as that. I'll tell you what, we're getting more out of it. Wow, this is sensitive. I'm going to turn the signal generator down. We'll have scratchy corner booming through. That's my limit, 0.06 of a microvolt. Very impressive. So it's quite possible these are not loved because they come out of the factory transmitting as quiet as a mouse. Okay, so let's look at some SINAD readings. And then we'll see what the manufacturer says it's supposed to do. Even better if I could find a pen. So we'll put down 20 dB SINAD, 12 dB industry standard, and then the 10 dB cheating one. So we'll start at 20. If not all radios will do this because of noisy transistors, but this one will. And my goodness, it's 0.67, 0.67 microvolts. Am I on the right scale? I am. So now we'll go at looking at 12 dB. and it's 0.19. And then the 10 dB, 0.14 microvolts. Not many new sets will do that. Right. Well, let's have a look at the Squelch. Turn the volume down a bit, and we'll turn the Squelch to full. I'll put this on the attenuator controls. So at the moment we're parked at 0.3 of a microvolt. So I'm going to put this to 100 microvolts. That is there. That's where I want the Squelch to come in when it's set to full on the radio. It isn't doing. So that's 300 microvolts. That's 1 millivolt. That's far too strong. So we'll just adjust the preset. And according to my notes, the Squelch preset is RV103. And it's right over there for some reason. So I want it just to open. And now it's coming in exactly where we want it. So next we'll turn the Squelch down to minimum and switch the signal generator off. When the red light's on, the signal generator is off. There's a red light there. Set the Squelch to threshold. And now we'll switch the signal generator on. It comes on at a higher level and then it stabilises. So that if you get a quick pip, that's just the signal generator. In actual fact, it's come in and stayed in. I can't lose the Squelch, it's that sensitive. Turn the signal generator off and it's in. Absolutely fantastic. Good grief. We'll be fitting these in all the cars. We haven't done the S meter, so we'll go back to S9, and we should have S9 showing on the meter. We've got S6, so we need to pop that up a bit. So just have a look at the thing again, and S meter is RV101. So RV101 is there next to the modulation transformer. Sorry, next to the power input choke. Are we sure before I fiddle with that? RV101 S meter. It's a funny position. Oh, they're right. Now, like a lot of modern sets, it's in twos. So 2, 3, 2, 4, 6, 8. So you've got 10 if I turn the signal generator up. So it's actually 5 changes. So although it's got 10, it's a 2 at a time because it's a cheating so-and-so. Anyway, that has set up fine. Now here comes the bizarre thing. The radio has AM in it, but we can't access the AM because we're in the UK, and the radio is manufactured to do FM on CPT and FM on UK channels, and no AM. Because it wasn't until 2014 that we were allowed AM on CPT channels. So it's the same chassis used on their CPT only one, on their AM FM one, and on the UK one. And I've no doubt, and I'm not interested and I don't want any comments, so I'll delete them. There will be links somewhere to turn it into a different version. But if somebody's watching from another country and they have got another version which does access the AM, then the modulation preset is RV201. And RV201 is that one there. See, there's the modulation transformer. There's RV201. And that will have been set up at the factory because they will have, when they align these, they'll be on a test jig. So, there we are. It's done. Spot on. And it's got these memories for whatever reason. It's all in the instruction book. I'll tell you what we'll look at. What's the sensitivity supposed to be? It's supposed to be 0.5 microvolts for 10 dB SINAD, and we've well exceeded that. Let's see. It says IF is 10.7, where normally they're 10.695, so I don't know whether that's right. So let's see what the transmit power is supposed to be. Well, on transmit it's supposed to draw less than 1.6 amps. It's drawing 1.4, so that's fine. But then it's not doing 4 watts. Well, it's supposed to be 4 watts, but I think my equipment's more selective than theirs. So let's see what it is now. Now the set's cooled down a bit. It's about 3.5, 3.6. So I'll take that off, and we'll put it together, and we'll stick it on an aerial, and we'll just see if there's any good or bad buddies out there. It's got one of those rubbish viewing angles. So I've put the Squelch on. Now we're on aerial, press scan. So despite all that sensitivity, they'll probably be 35 miles away, you know, listening to that kind of signal. Right, we'll go back to taking scan off and pop it on to 19 without using the emergency thing. Well, Nana, Roger. And then we can go up and down from the mic. So it's Saturday about 1:30. I think everybody's having their lunch. So there we go. The Danita 3000 UK, not to be confused with the Danita 3000 Multi, which is a totally different set. And that sensitivity is brilliant. I would have liked a little more than 3.6 watts, but that's how it is. We'll do an on-the-air test tonight. Thank you for watching.